everybody. So this week's episode of Teen Wolf floored me. I don't know what's going to happen in the season finale. Who's going to live? Who's going to die? I'm really nervous. And I don't know what's going to happen now. I'm really freaked out right now. Let's talk about episode 9 of Teen Wolf season 5, Lies of Omission. The episode starts off with us seeing the whole pack walking around the high school, just not really communicating. They're all just in a state of shock and trance and just don't know how to deal with what's going on, as they haven't known the whole season how to deal with it, because this is very different, and a lot of the adult figures that normally come in and lend some guidance just aren't really around, so they're just dealing with it basically on their own. Deaton's still MIA. I mean, we saw him for a little bit last episode, but that's all we've seen of him for a while. I mean, we haven't seen him for much this season. Now, let's start off with what's going on with Scott. His asthma is back in full force, as if he never were a werewolf. That's how bad his asthma is. He's always reaching for his inhaler. He needs it all the time. He even closes the vet clinic for a while, which is crazy. I don't know. Scott, you need money. I mean, I don't know. But you see, Scott, he basically, the episode, during the beginning of the episode, it's like he's narrating it, and we see who he's talking to, and he's confiding in Theo. Scott? No. I don't know anymore. I don't know what to think about what's going on with Scott, but something needs to give. This is just ridiculous what's going on with Scott this season. Now, Stiles. Oh man, Stiles. I could go on and on about Stiles, but we finally see Stiles' wound from Donovan, and it's interesting. And the biggest thing about Stiles this episode is the truth comes out that he killed Donovan. We're going to come back to that, but let's talk about, okay, one other thing we see Stiles and Lydia. They're trying to find the Nemeton. He's like, can you find, Lydia's never, I don't know if y'all really understood, she never really had a connection to the Nemeton. She's one of the only people that didn't really have like a big, which is weird, because she's a supernatural, she's a supernatural creature, but not, like, she's immune to the werewolf bite and all that, but she's still something. She's a banshee, but for some reason, she can't find the Nemeton, and Stiles and everybody can't find it right now, so after Stiles and Lydia can't find it, which in that scene, Stiles almost comes clean to Lydia, and I actually for a second thought he might come clean to Lydia and tell him that he killed Donovan, but he didn't. So then Lydia goes and finds Parrish, and starts having him drive around and tell him he needs to find the Nemeton and all this, and yeah, there's a whole part where, like, basically his ability, it's when he's not in control of himself. He's not holding back. He's not focusing on trying to use powers or whatever. And so she kind of does like a whole, like, they start like sparring and fighting, just play, I don't know. You know how it is. And then all of a sudden his eyes glow orange. He turns his head and you see the Nemeton in a bunch of bodies. And Lydia sees it too. And we're just like, oh shit. And Parrish is adorable. He's just like, I need to turn myself in. I'm a deputy. I'm a good deputy. I don't want to, I'm taking these bodies and I'm hurting people. And I hurt Stiles and the Jeep and all that stuff. And yeah, yes, I consider the Jeep a character. Get over it. The Jeep is a character. It's been in this show since season 1. And he hurt the Jeep too. And it was already, like, it's already on its last legs. But anyways, the whole thing with that is ridiculous. Towards the end of the episode, where for Parrish, he has Sheriff Stilinski lock him up. And he's like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but you need to lock me up because I'm taking the bodies and I don't want to hurt anybody else. And so, yeah, there's that. Sheriff Stilinski, I don't like how Sheriff Stilinski's getting this season. I don't know. He's less funny, but I guess it's because it's all the kids dying and stuff, but I don't know. He's just, the sensitive side of him isn't as apparent. I don't know if I have the right words for it, but he's investigating the library, and he finds traces of mercury and all this, and he's basically the whole episode, he's just like buckling down, trying to figure out what's going on, find the bodies, help people, do whatever. And I guess he's just in a, I'm not dealing with any shit. I want to get this done. I'm sick of all the unsolved cases. And I understand that. I mean, there've been so many unsolved cases in Beacon Hills. It's Beacon Hills. I mean, it's a, like, mecca for supernatural creatures and all that mess. Now, when we see Malia, poor Malia. I mean, okay, basically, beginning of the episode, for her, we see her looking at pictures of destruction from the desert wolf and all her work, and then we see her trying to help this girl, Beth, I believe her name is, who apparently is a chimera. Like, she's chewing on her nail in class, and her nail comes out, and she's got mercury in her mouth and her nail, and she runs out. Malia runs after her, tries to help her. Beth punches or hits whatever Malia, and Malia goes after her, and it's too late. Dread Doctor snaps her neck, and we're just like, I mean, I was just like, I don't know. It's crazy, and she's just sick of dealing with this. When she was, one thing that was really interesting was when Malia was trying to run out of the classroom after Beth, Miss Martin tried to stop her, and she's like, I think you need to focus on, and Malia's like, you know what's going on, don't you? And then she glows her eyes at, like, first Miss Martin, like, acts like she's oblivious, and then Malia glows her eyes at her, and Miss Martin's like, I think you all should be focusing on your schoolwork and stuff, and not this. And I was just like, really? Okay, I don't know what's up with her, and why she's, I don't know. I don't know if she knows anything about what's going on, because I don't know. Now, one thing that was really cute this season, I mean, this episode. See, this season has me so just, mixing things up. It's hard to keep up track. It's just so much mess is going on. But anyways, Liam and Hayden, they're adorable. I'm just gonna say that. I think I've said it before, but there's a whole scene where him and Hayden are kissing in between school buses, and it's very reminiscent to when Allison and Scott were kissing between the school buses and stuff several seasons back. It's so cute the way they did that. And they're kissing, and then Hayden starts bleeding mercury, and not good. Not good. The whole episode, I mean, basically, there's a scene where Scott's like, I want to help, and such, the full moon's coming up, it's a super moon, and Liam's like, we can't help anybody. And Liam goes off with Hayden, is trying to hide her from the Dread Doctors. Well, eventually, they find them at that club. The Dread Doctors, have a big fight with Liam, and Scott and Theo actually showed up too, and they fought him and all werewolfed out, and yeah, they lost. They lost. They got their asses handed to them. And Hayden got a needle of mercury to the neck, and her eyes literally filled with mercury. For a second we thought, oh my gosh, she's dead. And then she's not, and we're like, wait, what? She's just injured or something, or I don't know why they injected her with that and didn't just kill her. It was interesting. I don't know. Another thing that happens, Corey, this episode, is all like, he's getting stronger, he's lifting weights with Mason, and he's like, yeah, and then he decides to push himself, and then the next thing we know, we see him being rolled out with mercury just coming out of his mouth. It's all over him, and we're just like, yeah, you're dead. There's even a whole scene in the hospital where he's trying to get away from the Dread Doctor, because the Dread Doctor show up. Theo and Scott try to get there in time to help him. And one of the things that's cool before whatever, what goes down is Corey's walking around. He's like a chameleon. He's blending in and camouflaging himself with the environment. And camouflaged himself against like a fire truck or an ambulance or something. And yeah, sorry, dude. I knew it, but yeah, that dread doctor could see through your camo, and he just ran him through, and he was dead. And Scott and Theo were too late. So yeah, there's that. There's also a scene that happened where I don't know. Theo, like, there's a scene where he's like arguing with the dread doctors, and he's like, I need, you promised me a pack and all this, and yeah, dude, I don't know what your deal is with them, but arguing with them is probably not a good idea. I don't know. Something about him getting a pack out of helping them out. I don't know. It's just, it's a mess. But let's move on to the stuff that really just destroyed me this episode. And save the best slash worst for last. Scott finds out that Stiles killed Donovan. What really pisses me off, I thought I couldn't hate Theo anymore, but when he decided to spin the story in his favor of Donovan's death, I was screaming at the screen. I was pissed. One thing he does is he tells Scott that Stiles was just kept going, like he made Stiles out like not like a victim, like he was just deliberately trying to kill Donovan. He wasn't a victim. At first he said that Donovan came after him, but then he was just like, and he just kept going after him and all this stuff. He didn't say, oh, Donovan chased him up into the library, and since Stiles doesn't have superpowers or whatever, supernatural abilities, the only thing that he could do to save him is to kill Donovan. And I mean, no, he made it seem like Stiles deliberately was just wailing on Donovan, trying to kill him like that. Like he wanted to kill him. No, Stiles was shocked and not happy that he done that. I mean, he just was forced into it. But Theo even kept the wrench that Stiles had been using on his Jeep when Donovan first attacked him, the bloody wrench, and Scott believed Theo. I'm like, okay, Scott, how much have you and Stiles been through? How much have you and Theo been through? Like, seriously, Scott, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with Scott this season or why he's being this way. But Stiles has risked his life so many times for Scott, and I don't know. I mean, Stiles seems to be the one that's really holding the friendship together, and when Scott believes Theo, I'm just like, really? I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what to think. But another thing that happens, it makes me even more pissed about Theo. Sheriff Stilinski approaches him about the library cards and how him and Stiles, their library cards they had checked into the library when, at the time of Donovan or whatever going missing or whatever, or there was a prank call. And he basically tells Sheriff Stilinski that Donovan attacked him, Theo, and was asking where Stiles was, wanted to kill him in front of Sheriff Stilinski and all this. And Theo was like, I had no choice. I didn't want to die. It was me or him. And he like starts crying and stuff. And then Sheriff Stilinski hugs him. He hugs him. And then you see Theo look up, and he's just like, yeah, I got this in the bag. I'm just like, dude, no. Just no. So in the end, there's a scene where Scott confronts Stiles. They're in the rain. It's very dramatic, and he's like, we don't kill people we're trying to save. And he's like, we don't kill people. And Stiles is like, some of us don't have supernatural abilities. Some of us are human. Some of us have to get our hands bloody or whatever. It's along that line. It's not word for word, but... And Scott's just like, blows him off. He's like, she essentially kicked him out of the pack. And I'm just... That's your best friend. Y'all have been best friends your whole lives, pretty much. And that you do that, and you can't, I mean, Stiles has forgiven so much from Scott. And Scott can't forgive this. Even though I know he killed someone. But he was being attacked, and he was defending himself. But Scott, because the story's been spun in Theo's favor, or not in Stiles' favor, Scott thinks that Stiles is just a murderer. And I don't even know. I don't know what to do. So after this, Scott's like, basically Stiles had showed up and he was saying he was looking for Malia and stuff. And Scott was like, don't worry about Malia and Lydia. I'll find them. Maybe you should go talk to your dad. He's basically telling Stiles to go turn himself in. I don't know what Stiles is going to do. I don't know what's going to happen this season. Because at the end of the episode, the very end, Liam comes up with the idea that the only way to save Hayden is if Scott gives her the bite and she becomes a werewolf. Well, when he asks Scott just looks at him real seriously and he's like, no. It wasn't the best time to ask Scott. I don't know what's going to happen to Hayden or Scott's relationship with his pack, or the whole pack for that matter. I don't even know if she would survive the bite. Maybe that was why Scott said no. I don't know. Because she's already so weak and her biology or whatever has been completely changed. So it's not even human, really. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in the season finale next week on Monday. But I'm really nervous because this is the first time. I don't know how in one episode they're going to bring the whole pack back together. Usually we get a good finale where things are resolved for the most part and everybody's happy, mostly ish, happy-ish. But I just don't know. And it's a season 5A. So I really don't want a cliffhanger. Things that need to be resolved in the finale. What is Parrish? Scott and Stiles' friendship. Stydia needs to happen, but I don't know if it's going to happen. And the Dread Doctors need to die. And we need to know what the hell is going on with Theo and why he is the way he is and figure out how to stop him or get rid of him. Because he's just the really big problem with this whole season. He needs to go. Like, the actor's great, but I just don't like this character messing everything up. But I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really nervous, and I don't know what to think. So, before I keep going on, because I could go on and on about what I think could happen at the end of the finale. But I'm going to wait until next week to talk with y'all about that. May even do that recap and review and cosplay again. It's kind of become a thing for me. On the finale episode recap and review. But I hope y'all enjoyed this. Continue to comment, like, and subscribe. And have a great day. Bye, guys.